The Tantra of the Blue-Clad Blessed Vajrapāṇi, translated by the Daharmacakra Translation Group and read by Angus Cargill. I prostrate to the blue-clad Blessed Vajrapāṇi. I prostrate to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times. Thus did I hear at one time. Blessed Akshobhya, the Buddha of the Vajra family, was residing in the palace in Alakavati, together with a retinue of millions of bodhisattvas, including Vajrapāṇi, Vajra regiment, constant Vajra holder, Vajra tamer, terrible Vajra conqueror, Vajra tamer of all evil, Vajra victor of basic space, Vajra joyfully abiding protector, and others. At that time, the great being, the Bodhisattva Vajrapāṇi himself, brandished a Vajra 3 times at his heart center. He made 3 circumambulations of the Blessed One and prostrated himself. Then, kneeling on his right knee, Vajrapāṇi requested, Blessed One, thus gone one, great Vajra holder, please explain the great Tantra called the all-subjugating Vajra that subjugates all Bhutas and that tames the evil ones that dwell beneath the earth. Great Vajra holder, I supplicate you to teach. Great Lord of all, I supplicate you to teach. Great tamer of all evil forces, I supplicate you to teach. Great dispeller of all darkness, I supplicate you to teach. At this request from Vajrapāṇi, the Blessed One declared, It is excellent that you, great Vajradhara, secret one, have, for the benefit of sentient beings, requested from me the Tantra called the all-subjugating Vajra. Lord of secrets, that is excellent. Great Bodhisattva, that is excellent. Thus, you who share Vajrapāṇi's lineage, listen and remember this. I will reveal and explain the Tantra called the Vajra that subjugates the evil forces below the Vajra earth. Receive it. After pronouncing these words, the Blessed One, by means of the absorption of the all-subjugating Vajra, entered equipoise in the absorption called vanquishing all grahas and bhutas from below the earth. No sooner had the Blessed One entered equipoise than a multitude of wrathful subjugators of evil forces emanated from all the pores of his body and filled the space under the earth, on the earth, and above the earth. The entire land of the underground Nagas was filled with the horrible sound, Hum. The 8 Naga kings, together with their retinues, were tamed and bowed before the Blessed One. But the Naga king Anantaka then gave rise to an evil thought, intending to release a scalding breath. But the Blessed One knew his intention and blessed the Lord of Secrets, Vajrapāṇi, who spoke this mantra called the mantra that completely pacifies the anger of all Nagas. Om Nila Vajra Krodha Naga Hum Fat. Now the mind of the Naga Anantaka was completely pacified. He became endowed with the awakened mind, through which the minds of all the Nagas were completely pacified. Then all of the Naga kings, like Anantaka, who live below the earth, supplicated the Blessed One, the great Vajra holder, with these words. Blessed One, we supplicate you to explain a ritual that will, in future times and onward, prevent the grahas that are living below the earth from making obstacles for sentient beings, and that will also pacify the evil of those spirits. We supplicate you to explain why we, the Naga kings and our retinues, are unable to create obstacles for that great being. we supplicate you to explain to us, the Naga kings, our purpose. The Blessed One, the great Vajra holder, glanced at the Naga kings and replied, Naga kings, that is excellent. Your request is timely. I will reveal this for the benefit of sentient beings. I will explain. Listen. The Nagas and the others replied, Excellent, Blessed One. They then listened appropriately. At that point, the Blessed One explained the following chapter called Taming the Nagas. Taming the Nagas. Hum. For the benefit of all sentient beings, the teacher, the great Vajra holder, carefully observed his own retinue, projected light into all directions, and then taught the method for destroying all grahas. On the 8th day of the waxing moon, or likewise on the 14th and 15th days, in an extremely isolated place, contemplate wrathful Vajrapāṇi, youthful and with majestic poise. Next, purify gold and so forth, the 7 precious things, and place these in a jeweled vessel or clay pot. Recite 108 mantras. Resorting to the true utterance of the 3 jewels, give an oblation to the Bhutas. Bury it in firm ground wherever they abide, and the Bhutas and evil Nagas will be pacified. When these peaceful methods are not sufficient, with terrible weapons set their homes ablaze. This fierce, unbearable suffering will remind them of their previous intentions, and they will undoubtedly be pacified. Chapter 1. Accomplishing Peaceful Activity. Then the Blessed One explained the ritual for the action deity. Always in possession of the awakened mind, and endowed with all commitments and vows, engage in all the acts of bathing. In a clean and pure place, beautify the mandala as is fitting. Visualize an iron hook that emerges from the syllable hum, bringing the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas instantaneously before you. Make offerings and so forth to them. Om Sunyata Jnana Vajra Swabhavad Mako Hum. Meditate on the absorption of emptiness. In the expanse of space, visualize the letter A, and the first moon, the letter Hum, blazing with great light. This purifies the negative emotions of the 6 classes of beings, definitively placing them in the state of complete liberation. Imagine the light gathered back in the form of Hum, marked with a 5-pronged Vajra. A garland of light shines forth from this, causing all sentient beings to dissolve into the Vajra essence. From this, the great wrathful one, blue in color, blazes forth. Seated with his left leg extended, he is 16 years of age. He is adorned with 8 ornaments, Anantaka and so forth. His form is dark in color, with 1 face and 2 hands, holding a Vajra. His clothing is blue and luminous. His 3 eyes are beautifully red and looking upward. His dreadlocks stream upward, bound by a Vajra ornament. Imagine him like this. Then great wrathful wisdom is invoked and ushered in with Ja Hum Vam Ho. Visualize at his head, throat, and heart center a wheel, a lotus, and a Vajra, marked by the syllables Om Ah Hum. Ornamented with the 13-syllable mantra. Visualize that Aksobhya Vajra confers empowerment, and all is conquered and perfectly purified. Then the Blessed One resolutely spoke his root mantra, the statement of all activity. Om Nilam Bara Darajvara Vajrapāṇi Hom Hom Pat. The garlands of mantras as well should be white for peaceful, red for magnetizing, yellow for increasing, and black for wrathful activity. Completely abandon thoughts and recite this. With the distinct techniques of emanating and absorbing, engage in concentration on whatever you wish for. Give up the practice of what you do not desire. The wrathful King Vajrapāṇi will benefit this mind, the support of all virtues, with whatever is striven for. The stages such as perfect joy and abilities such as invisibility will be accomplished. The support of everything is virtuous, and the supported is devoid of activity. The supreme attainment will be perfectly accomplished. This was the first chapter from the glorious Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld, accomplishing peaceful activity, or the chapter of the gods. Chapter 2. The Oblation. Then the great Bodhisattva, the great being Vajrapāṇi, supplicated the Blessed One with these words. Blessed One, teacher, Vajra holder, please explain the supreme ritual for the oblation that pacifies obstacles. Make this effort for the benefit of beings. Then the Blessed One said, Excellent Principal Vajra holder, I will explain the basis of all oblations, the ritual for pacifying obstacles, and the ritual that is a method for gaining spiritual accomplishment. In a beautiful vessel, place many excellent articles, such as food, drink, and so forth. Through entering the absorption of emptiness, from Brahm, generate a beautiful vessel. With Kam, visualize food and drink, filling all of space, and recite this mantra. Om Makaro Mukham Sava Dharmanam Ajyanta Pana Tata Om Ahom Pat Svaha. Visualizing it as nectar, expand it greatly. Through 2 expansions, purify it. In space, from the letter Hri, visualize 8 lotuses, immeasurably large. Then invite the protector, Vaishravana, the central figure surrounded by a retinue of 10 million yakshas, the recipient of the offerings of the 8 Naga kings. Imagine that the Yaksha kings, Jambala and Purnabhadra, Manibhadra, Kubera, Samprajnana, Guhyasthana, Panchika, and Bijakundali gather round the central figure like a retinue in all the main and intermediate directions. The common retinue of 10 million are behind the 8 Nagas and Yakshas. Next, for the invitation, use hooks that are conjoined from the central deity. Imagine them on mounts of lions and horses, all with 1 face and 2 hands, with victory banners blazing with gems, and the vase of precious jewels. They hold swords blazing with gems, daggers and spears, celestial chariots, swords and shields, and various weaponry raised on high. Visualize them thus. At the time of invitation, offer drum and trumpet music, fruits and incense. Om Vaishravana Saparivara Samaja Jahum Vamho Om Vesvaha Om Vaishravana Akashaya Humja is the mantra for the invitation. Om Amarta Kundali Hana Hana Humpat is the mantra for dispelling obstructions. Then, with flowers and so forth, make pure offerings in the sky, offering them with joy. Om Nilam Bharad Vajrapāṇi Ajnapayati Imam Bali Granantu Samaya Raksantu Mama Sarvasiddhim Me Prayachakantu Mama Karmoga Svaha Om Vaisravanaya Svaha Om Jambalaya Svaha Om Purnabhadraya Svaha Om Manibhadraya Svaha Om Kubaraya Svaha Om Samprajnanaya Svaha Om Guyasthanaya Svaha Om Panchikaya Svaha Om Bijakundaline Svaha. These are the mantras for offering the oblation. Then make that offering to the guests. Hooks of light rays shine forth, and immediately they arrive. Perform the ritual of equal enjoyment. This was the second chapter of the Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld, the oblation. Chapter 3. Vaisravana. Then, for the benefit of those who wish to attain worldly accomplishment, the Blessed One entered the absorption called the origination of all worldly wheels, and emanated rays of light from the pores of his body. Vaisravana and his retinue were thus inspired and gathered around him. He prostrated to the Blessed One, scattered dust made from precious gems, and made this request. Blessed One, I am the Dharma-upholding king named Vaisravana. If I myself were to proclaim a secret in order to protect the Dharma of the pious and ensure the Dharma abides for a long time, would the Blessed One grant me an opportunity? The Blessed One said, Great King, excellent. Explain your secret well. I rejoice and give my blessings. May all Vajra holders also bless you. Speak well. Then Vaisravana got up from his seat, prostrated to the Blessed One, and spoke his own incantation. Om Vaisravanaya Hom Hom Paka Paka Chinda Chinda Svaha. Once he had spoken these words, he said to the Blessed One, O Blessed One, the accomplishment of this my mantra is excellent. Whoever wants to accomplish my state of being should arrange great offerings in the 3 times. To make the offering to me and my retinue, the practitioner should remain with one pointed concentration in an isolated place. A practitioner of the Blessed Vajrapāṇi must recite my mantra 10,000 times, and then accomplish the activities. One who thus accomplishes my state of being and my activity should offer an oblation and make vast offerings to me and to my retinue. The mantra to recite for making vast offerings and offering the oblation to me and my retinue is this. Om Vaisravanaya Svaha, Om Jambalaya Svaha, Om Purnabhadraya Svaha, Om Manibhadraya Svaha, Om Kubaraya Svaha, Om Samprajnaya Svaha, Om Guhasnaya Svaha, Om Panchikaya Svaha, Om Bijakundalini Svaha. Know that these are the mantras both for making offerings and giving an oblation to me and my retinue. Then, with respect to accomplishing my activity, I requested the Blessed One to bless me with his explanation. The explanation of the activity is this. Whoever wishes to gain accomplishment must know the stages of killing, the burnt offering, and the suppression ritual. Make an effigy out of beeswax of the target, those hostile toward the teachings. Draw him, make him enter, and then take control. The 18-syllable mantra forcefully strikes down in the 3 times, and suddenly his spirit is broken. There is no doubt that the target will be slain. If one is practicing the burnt offerings from amongst peaceful, increasing, magnetizing, and wrathful activities, here one should perform liberation wrathfully, thoroughly burn with a blazing fire. With respect to the superior, average, and inferior hearth, construct the superior one in 3 measures, the average in 2, and the inferior in whatever measure is possible. With fuel of thorny wood, great wrath is accomplished. Burn dough and mustard seeds in the fire, dissolve the body, speech, and mind of the aggressor into the substances, and make the burnt offering. Imagine the retinue of yakshas in the fire and present them with the burnt substances. Or scatter the activity fire yakshas with the substances. However you do it, it will be accomplished. At that time also, with these words of praise, focus your mind one-pointedly and offer praise. Hom, all-conquering, terrifying yaksha and the rest, terrorizing with your noxious, brilliant heat, bellowing loudly with wrathful splendor, homage and praise to you and your retinue. Om Vaishravana Puspehum Svaha. Om Vaishravana Dupehum Svaha. Om Vaishravana Deepam Hum Svaha. Om Vaishravana Gandehum Svaha. Om Vaishravana Naivdyas Hum Svaha. Worship the central deity and also his retinue. Make offerings in sequence. Recite spreading secret mantras. Perform the projection and reabsorption. This is the ordinary form of propagation. Om Vaishravana Chegemo Maraya Pat Svaha. For the retinue, just as for the main deity, worship them with their own incantations, fully supported by incantations. Imagine that they crush them into dust. Enjoin them to perform activity and give an oblation. As for the stages of sprinkling and offering the oblation, offer them in order. The sequence for the peaceful activity is as follows. On a hearth of sufficient size, offer the burning substances and so forth. Having conquered the evil deeds of body, speech, and mind, transform them into the essence of wisdom fire. Discard the vessel and the hearth. Completely burn all grahas there, and also make a ransom rite to pacify the great obstructors, in order to increase and magnetize for the activity and specific stages. Know that the details of the shape of the hearth are in accordance with the previously explained activities. As for the substantial offering, with the stages of red and yellow firewood and so forth, Om Vaishravanaya Dana Pustim Kuru Ye Svaha. Om Vaishravana Vasam Kuru Svaha. Om Vaishravanaya Santim Kuru Svaha. Just as for the main deity, for the retinue also make offerings with the incantatory substances. Offer the burned substances of dough, mustard seeds, sweets, and so forth in sequence. The 4 activities are perfectly accomplished. With superior diligence, they are fully accomplished. With middling and lesser diligence, know that they are accomplished in a middling and lesser way. Then Vaishravana and his retinue declared to the Blessed One, Blessed One, whoever engages in the practices that we have explained here should continually worship the Blessed Vajrapāṇi and the yakshas with the 3 white substances. He must completely avoid alcohol. He must acquire meats that are suitable and auspicious. If we fail to accomplish properly and one-pointedly the activities that are our accomplishments, then we will have insulted the Blessed One, and we will have failed to protect the Dharma. This is our oath. Om Vaishravana Artakatama. Great Vaishravana, that is excellent. So very excellent, said the Blessed One. So very excellent. The secret of which you have spoken will be of great benefit for the people of the future. In order that their benefit will certainly be accomplished, I also will pronounce this mantra. Listen. Excellent, said Vaishravana and the others to the Blessed One, and listened accordingly. The Blessed One then said, Om Vajrapāṇi Nilam Baradara Vajraspota Hum Fatsapsvaha. This incantation is a mantra that brings control over activities. Great Vaishravana brings about possession of the secret just as he promised. That is so, said the Yakshas, and they vanished. This was the third chapter of the Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld, the chapter on Vaishravana. Chapter 4. The Wheel of Suppression. Then, once again, the Bodhisattva Vajrapāṇi requested the Blessed One, Lord, for the sake of sentient beings of the future, please teach a wheel that strikes all wicked ones. The Blessed One mentally consented to this request, yet remained completely silent. Instead, he projected an all-pervading light from his heart center that embraced all sentient beings with love. Then he told Vajrapāṇi, Vajrapāṇi, I shall now teach a wheel that strikes the obstructors within the ground below. So listen one-pointedly, and I will teach. Vajrapāṇi listened accordingly, and the Blessed One began to speak. Whoever wishes to construct such a diagram should go to pleasant and solitary places and perform the practice of Vajrapāṇi. Visualize the world and its contents as Vajrakanda. From the element of wind up until the central mountain, imagine it to consist of enlightened bodies as numerous as there are particles. Amid this, cultivate the practice of Vajrapāṇi. His feet are placed on the holder of the hair. On this moon, the size of the trilliocosm, visualize the great obstructor utterly shaking. Vajrapāṇi's body shines with the splendor of 1,000 suns. Visualize that this light, which is unbearable to watch, burns away all obstructors without exception. The mantra chain recited from the tongue is seen to fill the trilliocosm. The 8 adorning Nagas release a giant breath of steam that terrifies all gods and Nagas. Wrathful ones are projected from his heart center, and like the winds at the end of an eon, cause them to disperse. With his hand he strikes with the Vajra. Like a bolt shot from a crossbow, it strikes down. Hum, hum resounds like thunder. They are thoroughly suppressed by his voice. Act like that, and all will be accomplished. Karmic torment will come to an end. If one does not know Vajrapāṇi, other accomplishments will be inferior. Whatever is accomplished hereby accomplishes all, in particular the supreme and the common. This was the 4th chapter on the Wheel of Suppression from the Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld. Chapter 5. The Ritual for Drawing the Diagram. Then, at another time, the Vajra holder taught the ritual of the diagram. On a piece of birch bark or rind, Draw a wheel with 21 sections. Commence this on the waxing phase of the moon, and write with a one-pointed mind. In the center, place the wrathful syllable. In the second, the syllable of the wealth holder. In the third comes the Vajra. In the fourth, place the first syllable of water. In the fifth, place the Ni. At the four borders, write the essence mantra for killing the target. These are the inner sections. On the 12 outer sections are the 12 syllables, omitting Om. On these, the secret mantra is as follows: Nilam Bharadvaja Vajrapāṇi Humpat. This completed wheel should be rolled up and fixed to the heart center of the target. It should be rolled up from the front edge. Then the fire offering ritual should be performed. If one wishes to subdue, the diagram should be completed as before. At the end, perform the ritual of subjugation. Place the diagram in a fresh clay cup and draw a crossed Vajra on the lid. Closing it with clay, temples and the like can be suppressed. If you prefer not to have sections, make a wheel with 12 spokes. In the center, place and affix a Hum and the name of the target. The remaining 12 are placed on the spokes. When the drawing is complete, insert it in the heart center. Summon, usher, and so forth, then burn. Perform the ritual for suppression of the unwanted. From that time onward, there is auspiciousness. Whenever the diagram is drawn, there is no doubt that things will occur as desired. Just like dry grass being burnt up by flames, the person will be unable to remain. This was the 5th chapter on the ritual for drawing the diagram from the glorious Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld. Chapter 6. The Stages of Fire Offering. Then once again, Vajrapāṇi asked the Blessed One, Lord, since everything is the domain of the profound, does one get liberated through such rituals as fire offerings or not? Please clear away my doubts. The Blessed One replied, Vajrapāṇi, great compassion, removal through the power of faith, the mandala endowed with substantial riches, and the activity of the fire offering, these you should know. If your stream of being keeps Samaya vows as your pledge, you will be liberated through attributes. Without a mandala, fire offering, substances, and so forth, spiritual accomplishments will not be achieved. Therefore, be diligent in the activity of fire offering. Among the fire offerings of the 4 enlightened activities, the stages of the wrathful one are as follows. In the center of a mandala of 4 cubits, there is a triangle of 1 cubit. It should be dug to a depth of half a cubit. Outside there are 3 levels. Draw the features of a Vajra in the middle. At the 3 levels, draw the 3 points of a Vajra encircled by a chain. In the intermediate spaces, draw iron hooks. A piece of thorny wood, the size of a cubit, is very auspicious. Substances such as poison, blood, and black mustard seeds should be gradually known. Oneself, through the yoga of the deity, invites the wrathful wisdom, visualized in the form that tames the 3 worlds. Perform the stages of worship. For that, the mantra of the fire offering to be uttered is this: Om Nilam Baradara, Om Vajra Valandala, Hana Savaduka Kniya Sama Kuru Nilam Baradara Vajrapāṇi Chegimo Maraya Hum Pat. Say this while burning the substances. From poison, blood, black mustard, and salt, create the form, accomplish it, and burn it. Om Nilan Baradara Vajrapāṇi Yaksha Kadaya Kadaya Bandaya Bandaya Mohaya Mohaya Shah Hum Anaya Hum Pat. This was the mantra for scattering the form. Om Nilam Baradara Vajrapāṇi Shah Hum Kram Akarshaya Hum Jaja. This was the mantra for summoning beings. Having performed the fire offering in that manner, go to a dried-up river, fell a naga tree, and make a large fire with elephant dung. Should illness and disease occur, perform the activity of supreme pacification. Dig a suitable spherical fire pit in 3 levels. It should be 1 cubit wide and half a cubit deep. Then perform the ritual of peaceful activity. If done in this manner, there is no doubt that one obtains spiritual accomplishments with the marks of success. Vajrapāṇi, Vajra holder, with devotion keep the meaning of the Tantra, and be diligent for the sake of living beings. Oh, this most secret, great Tantra grants great blessings from the start. It was spoken by the teacher Vajradhara. Be diligent in its practice. This was the 6th chapter on the stages of fire offering from the glorious Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld. Chapter 7. The Wheel of Expulsion. Then the teacher, the Vajra holder, the great glorious one, stood up on his seat. He gazed at Vajrapāṇi and said, "One should know the ritual of activity with substances such as poison. Produce the form that you wish for, then insert the diagram at the heart center. Visualize yourself as the deity of activity and place it in a box. Tie it with 5 strings of various colors, then summon your target with the hook at the heart center. Next, recite the 13 letters of the diagram. When the signs of shivering and trembling occur, throw it in the middle of a river. If the sign should not occur, mix the fluid of datura with blood and poison and apply it. Then burn it in the fire of a thorny tree. Om Nilam Baradara Vajrapāṇi Stambaya Mohaya Bandaya Dahanaya Hum Hum Fat. Fumigate it at the 3 times and utter many negative words, then throw it in the water using this mantra. Om Chanda Maharosana Hum Pat. Roll it around in pigment and throw it away. Imagine that you throw it into a salty ocean. Then, for the sake of irreversibility, recite this mantra continuously. Om Nilam Baradara Vajrapāṇi Hum Hum Stambaya Nanpat. Recite this continuously. Then the activity will certainly be accomplished. This was the 7th chapter on the Wheel of Expulsion from the Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld. Chapter 8. Mantra. Then the Blessed One, the Vajra holder, taught this chapter on mantra for the sake of living beings. Om Nilam Baradara Vajrapāṇi Hum Hum Pat. The root mantra of the Blessed One accomplishes all activities. This is the secret of the awakened mind of all Buddhas. It accomplishes all activity, even without practice. With the Vajra fists, you accomplish the binding of all mudras. With Vajra confidence, you accomplish all Samaya vows. With the Vajra smile, you are affectionate toward all sentient beings. By uttering the Vajra Hom, you make everyone mute. Through the Vajra lotus, you gain the spiritual accomplishment of traversing the sky. With the tail of the peacock, you tame all nagas. With the diagram, you kill all enemies. If you wish to accomplish wealth, perform the water offering to Jambala. If you wish to repel obstacle makers, do so through absorption. With the Vajra iron hook, you summon all. Protect against epidemics with the Kusha grass pock. If you wish to accomplish nagas, use the shoots of hardwood trees and nectar. If you wish to destroy an opposing army, do so with frankincense. For all actions, recite 100,000 mantras. This was the 8th chapter on mantra from the Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld. Chapter 9. Certainty and Purity. Then moreover the certainty of recitation will be taught now. Whoever wishes to gain spiritual accomplishments should fully possess commitments and pledges, and visualize oneself as the deity of activity. Then invite the wrathful wisdom. Summon and the rest with Ja Hum Vam Ho. In your heart on a moon is the mantra chain. Visualize it like a silver viper, swift, free and clear, without vagueness. Mentally perform a concentrated recitation, then make the fivefold offering. Through this fully concentrated recitation, all desired spiritual accomplishments will surely be accomplished. Om Ahom. That is the mantra for the blessings of enlightened body, speech and mind. Om Vajrapāṇi Abhisinkamam. Such is the mantra for bestowing empowerment. Om Vajrapāṇi Tistahom. That is the mantra for stabilizing enlightened mind. Through all the secrets of enlightened body and mind and enlightened speech in their entirety, one will quickly meet with awakening. Whenever someone is practicing diligently, the result will swiftly be attained within a single life. The non-dual nature is the Vajra possessor. It fully pervades the Vajra sky. It is inexpressible, non-conceptual, the meaning of thatness. Let go in this spontaneously accomplished state on the form of Hom and Ah, like a moon reflected in water. Meditate continually with an undistracted mind. Amazing. The protector, the Blessed One, is the utterly supreme victor. Amazing. This emanated body has no focus on sound. It is the domain of all joyful ones. This natural luminosity is purity. It abides a supreme awakening. This was the 9th chapter on certainty and purity from the Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld. Chapter 10. Protection. Then the teacher Vajradhara gazed at the protector of beings and taught the ritual of protection. Vajrapāṇi, listen well. Those beings who are seized by wicked ones should skillfully craft an image of an animal in pure copper, and fill its interior with silver and the like. Once filled, it should be well concealed in a desirable place, or on one's own body. This is the best protection. A reliquary of the bliss-gone ones, together with its relics, should be skillfully fashioned and consecrated. It is concealed wherever harm might occur. There will be peace by pronouncing the power of truth. The Buddhas, as numerous as the grains of sand in the Ganges, taught these incantation mantras to many creatures such as birds, all pleasant and beautiful animals. With these mantras, one should consecrate 108 blue cords and strings of silk, invoke the truth, and perform a dedication. When the oblation is given, there will be pacification. In a clean vessel, such as a cup, place such things as medicine and silk. Make an offering of flowers, incense, and so forth. If it is hidden in the ground, all harmful influences will become pacified. Braid together 3 white cords and make 21 knots. Accomplish it and make the offering of accomplishment. Then tie it around the neck of a victor. It is certain to reverse all obstacles. If one smears the body in equal measure with mustard seed, clarified butter, and brimstone, one will be freed from the grasp of vicious beings. If one practices during the month of Kartika on the Bagonada flower and the Daharmacakra fruit, all vicious ones will have nowhere to remain. With the hairs of tiger, bear, and jackal, one will be free from vicious ones. If in a waterfall, a lake, and so forth, the acts of protecting the body are perfectly performed, it will be the supreme perfection. You should accept the Vajra holder. Then, just as the full moon is freed from the grasp of the clouds, so shall you be free. This was the 10th chapter on protection from the Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld. Chapter 11. The Arrangement of Mantras. Vajrapāṇi then said these well-spoken words. The ritual of arranging mantras, how might that be? Vajra holder, please listen well. Vajra holder, listen well, and I will teach you the arrangement of mantras. In a pleasing triangular mandala, draw a lotus with 8 petals. This accomplishes all desired aims. Within that, arrange the secret mantras. In the center, place the Lord of Syllables in the 5th of the 4th. Place the syllable I. In the 3rd of the final, place the last of the 5th. Then place the 4th of the 5th. Next, place the 2nd in the last. Then place the 4th of the 4th and the 2nd in the last. Then, in the 3rd of the 5th and the 3rd of the 2nd, one should place a Ra. Then, in the 1st of the 5th, the syllable A should be placed. Then, in the last of the 3rd, place the syllable I. In the 4th of the 7th, place the syllable U. By suppressing with emptiness, it becomes 2. In the 2nd of the 5th, apply the 1st of the 3rd. The 13 syllables are the incantation. If they are recited diligently with love, all desired spiritual accomplishments are certain. Amazing, thus spoke the Vajra possessor. This is the king of mantras, the unsurpassable path that manifests the spiritual accomplishments of Vajrapāṇi. This was the 11th chapter on the arrangement of mantras from the glorious Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld. Chapter 12. Bestowing empowerment on students. The teacher, Vajradhara, emanated light from his eyes. Then, in order to ripen students, he taught the ritual of conferring empowerment. The Vajra master, the great ascetic, has obtained empowerment replete with secrets. He is disciplined, upright, and a great spiritual friend. In the excellent state of little movement, he obtained the awakened mind. Learned in the mandala ritual, he should bestow empowerment on the foremost student. For that, in a place such as a beautiful temple, first train well in disciplined conduct. Then perform the ritual of the ground, examine, purify, and prepare. Then make offerings and requests. Examine by means of signs in dreams. The fire offering should be performed a total of 108 times with the peaceful ritual. Make offerings to the Bhuttas and instruct them. They abide in the center of the mandala. From whom visualize a great Vajra. From Brahm, visualize the great celestial palace. The light from the two eyes, the sun and the moon, annihilates all obstructing forces without exception. With the dance movement of the great Vajra, circumambulate the ground 3 times and smear it with the 5 substances of a cow. Then arrange the deities in a single group. Make offerings, praises, and requests. Place the vase especially well, then ripen the student in the ritual. The ritual of threads and colors should be done just as the activity ritual. Then, with the blue blindfold, let the students enter. On the vow holders, bestow the 5-fold empowerment. The empowerments of the vase, the Vajra, the bell, the crown, and the name. The activity ritual is the same. On the 14th and the 13th day, introduce the students to the activity. The blessing should be transferred gradually, while confidence should be produced immediately. This stainless Tantra, the precious essence, is the root of all Tantras. It contains the sacred bestowal of empowerment. Virtuous vow holders who have been concentrated through the empowerment based upon the activities of ripening, which is taught in the supreme Tantras, should please the Sacred One with gifts. This is the rite for perfecting liberation, for consecration, and for the maturing of students. This was the 12th chapter on bestowing empowerment on the students from the Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld. Chapter 13. Establishing the Secret. Then the Bodhisattva Vajrapāṇi requested the Blessed One, Lord, for the sake of all sentient beings, please explain the secret of enlightened mind. The Blessed One answered this request by saying, Vajrapāṇi, terrifying one, it is excellent that you consider the welfare of others so diligently. In the degenerated age, whoever wishes to tame those sentient beings that are difficult to tame should first give rise to the mind of awakening and completely perfect the 2 accumulations. On a lotus base within a jeweled vessel, array the Lord of Secrets in the center. Surrounded by the 8 great Nagas on 8 petals, each with the head of a snake, when washed and pure, perform the practice of the deity of activity. First, invite and make offerings. Then recite while projecting and absorbing oneself and the deity. Think that the 8 Nagas are pacified. Thus, from Hum and the rope of Hum, the one to be accomplished is turned into a mass of light, and in an instant caught within the Hum. Om Vajrakrodha Ahikanda Fat. With 10,000 repetitions, one will certainly be freed from the grahas. Vajrapāṇi, your radiation and absorption of enlightened mind is secret. Cover the body of the one to be accomplished in color, and cut it with the radiation and absorption of the garland of the great Hum. When examining the great substances, one will surely be freed from grahas. However, if this should not accomplish it, reverse the mantra chain and do the recitation. Having cut with the Vajra chain, it will be accomplished without any doubt. The supreme ritual for repelling the obstructors below appears like a wish-fulfilling jewel. This great Tantra is the ultimate secret, which without doubt is victorious among the three vehicles and supreme among all protective intentions. As soon as the Blessed One had spoken, the retinues of the family, including Vajrapāṇi, along with all the hosts of deities, rejoiced and praised what the blessed Vajradhara had said. This was the 13th chapter on establishing the secret from the glorious Tantra of the Vajra in the underworld. Colophon. The translation was completed by the Kashmiri scholar Kelu and the Tibetan translator Pakpashirap.